Hello, everyone. Welcome to Essence for Your Ears. And we have tonight a podcast. So we're going to just let this be raw, let this flow as it wants to flow, and set the intention for everything that's shared tonight, or wherever you are, whatever time it is. We are beyond time, so let it be that, be beyond time. Let it be timeless and boundless and free of ego, free of bias. Let it be of God's work, of God's good, of source's good, Allah's good, or universe, or all in all, infinite intelligence, whatever name you have for the unnameable substance that creates everything, or that is everything, that is in everything, that energy, that prana, that chi, that life force that animates everything and animates all life. So I could rant about that all day, but because it is infinite, right? Because everything we try to label it as, it just goes beyond, because every small thing is what it's made out of. It's what it is made out of, and it makes it up. So today we're gonna just be going through what I have in front of me right here is 40 thought-provoking spiritual questions. I'm not gonna do all 40. I'm probably just gonna go through them and just follow source and just see what's up. And we'll just flow, So the first one we have here is, what should be humanity's goal? So, even if I start with I believe, or in my opinion, it's just ego, right? So I'll just try to see what may, I'll just ask another question to start off with, just to get clarity. So what could possibly be a goal that, humanity or everyone has in their heart for the collective? Sure, we can say, sure, there's everything that comes up, or end the world hunger, or world peace, or it's endless. But those count, of course. Though I feel as a collective, what we all want is, and it does fall into the world peace one, is everyone wants to be happy. Everyone strives to be happy, thrives to be happy, and everyone seeks happiness in whatever shape or form. So even if we're, going somewhere, doing something, wanting to do something, wanting to go somewhere, wanting change, we're really just seeking happiness, because we're saying that, okay, if I get XYZ, if I go to XYZ, if I do XYZ, then it's gonna bring me some sort of satisfaction or some bliss, some happiness. So I feel like that should be, it is humanity's goal, and it should just be more open. Everyone should just be more open about that, because I believe we all know we all want to be happy, though once we're encountering each other, we should make that our number one priority. Just attempting to hold that in mind, like, okay, this person that I'm coming in contact with, they want to be happy. I obviously want to be happy, so let's seek that. Let's make that our number one priority. No matter what happens, no matter what the encounter may entail at first, let's make happiness like the basis of it. So now it's like, in doing so, like, I could be encountering somebody and say they even bump into me or something, and now I have several ways to react, but I can choose to just react in a with using the basis like, all right, this person wants to be happy, I want to be happy, but obviously this can totally go left field, and like we can just end up not being happy in this. But just realizing, okay, all right, it's okay. It's like, oh, you bumped into me, whatever. Oh, it's okay. Hey, you're good. It's like, all right, thank you, man. And yeah, just whatever. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways, it's like, it's the little things. It's like for example, I'll just use a real example. Like me and my dad was talking about like how he went to this restaurant that he goes to sometimes, because he's always working, and sometimes he goes to his restaurant just to take a breather, take a little relaxer, clear his mind, and and just enjoy himself, and that's amazing. And he went there, and then this waiter, they always give spectacular service there, and he was just making sure, like, okay, above all, I want you to end up being happy at the end of this. Like, of course, in customer service, that is your job, to make sure the customer's happy, but just that small act of saying, even verbally saying, like, I want you to make sure that you're happy, like, that goes a long way, because that's something that you don't hear all the time. Somebody going out their way to make sure that you're happy. And I feel like that's exactly what I mean by holding that as a basis, making that a more of a priority for ourselves, that we should go out of our way to make not only other people happy, thus it's just like in the same time we're making ourselves happy, because we're feeling like we did something greater than ourselves, and we did. Like we put ourselves beyond ourselves, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We are beyond ourselves. We are that infinite intelligence that not only inhabiting this body, but every other body we see, right? So when we see things like this, it's easier to like extend that happiness, or extend that joy, or extend that love to other people. Thus, it's like going out of my way doesn't even feel like going out of my way. It feels like I'm doing something that, it's like I'm making my own day while making someone else's day. And it's like, shit, if that's going out of my way, I'll go out of my way, infinitely, because it's like, it doesn't deter me, it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't harm me. If anything, it just makes me feel better, it makes someone else to feel better. And it's like, that's what matters more than anything, like being there for each other, because like no matter what in this life, like all we do have is each other. So if we can't like rely on each other to just rely on each other for happiness, even though that's what we're doing regardless, even if we realize it or not, it's like, okay, if we can't do that, then what else is the point? But alright, I'm realizing that I'm gonna end up doing like just a couple questions, but I'll keep this going. So next question. Oh wow, the next question is literally, should everyone on this planet be striving towards a common goal? If so, what should that be? So I'll let it just domino into what we were just talking about, with like, what should be humanity's goal? And it's like, okay, if anyone should be striving, and I don't like the word striving as much, I feel thriving is way better, because thriving is like, that means everything's blossoming as accordingly, or everything is going according to plan. And I believe even if we don't see it at first, everything is going according to plan, because think of it now, like everything you were stressing out, everything you were worrying about, like it literally all worked out, it panned out, everything worked out perfectly. So how isn't things going according to plan? Like, sure, if you say otherwise, but that's just you saying otherwise. Like, if it wasn't working out, you really wouldn't even be here to hear this. So that's just one thing we could just applaud for right now, right? So I feel like what we should be thriving towards is, the happiness, the world peace. And I feel like if we're putting happiness first, not only for others, but ourselves, thus doing it for others, because there are no others, then like, that goal is being accomplished always. So I'll just leave that as that, because I already have like 6 minutes of that straight. So, you know what? I'm not going to skip. I'm just going to go through all these. It's like, can you think of something that everyone, and I haven't looked at these at all, but this is my first time looking at these. I just searched it up and turned this on. So this is interesting. So, okay. Can you think of something that everyone could agree on despite the chaotic world we live in? Wow. You see, it's all just kind of just dominoing. I feel like we could all agree on that we all want the same thing when it comes down to it. Like, sure, it's like we want different things, material things, or, you know, surface level things, but in the basis of it, it's really the same thing. May it be love, happiness, satisfaction, or freedom. Like, these are all the same things that we all, you know, could agree on despite the quote unquote chaotic world we live in. But I also believe that we're living in a cosmos and not a chaos, and that everything in this cosmos is orderly, that only man creates disorder with disorderly thinking. So I also am a firm believer in your mind or your thinking creates your reality, because we could see this anytime. We could see this shit now. Like for instance, if I'm creating this and then thinking like, damn bro, it's like this is not receptive at all, like they're not gonna get this, or they're not hearing you, or they don't understand, or they don't they think that, like, whatever, all these thoughts, like, it's like if I'm thinking that, then all I'm doing is just literally plummeting my confidence. And may it not be true at all, like may you just be understanding this whole thing perfectly. I could just be putting myself into a lie. I'm creating my reality with what I think is true, and may it not even be true in general. I'm just creating it with my thoughts, because like I'm gonna think it, and every thought, according to David Hawkins, and we all can attest to this, every thought is accumulating, is just thousands of feelings and emotions, like just, you know, bunched or bundled up in like every single thought. So it's like I'm thinking a positive thought, then I have a bundle of, you know, thousands of positive emotions that I'm going to be feeling throughout my body, thus raising my confidence, raising my ability to be there for other people, be more happy, and spread that joy and peace and love, and continue those thoughts. Versus like if I'm thinking something negative, then it's like the bundle of thousands of negative emotions come up, thus now I start to feel that all over my body, making it, you know, making my confidence go down, making my anxiety go up, my depression go up, and thus making it more difficult for me to be there for people, or spread that love and spread that peace, and thus like even do that for myself. So yeah. So it's like I feel like we should just hold in mind, you know, love, peace, and joy, because once we do that, we see already. We can practice it, you know, literally now, or even tomorrow, or whenever we have the chance. Like when we hold thoughts of good, or of lovely, of peace, of joy, then we really get that not only from ourselves, because we're reacting that way to people, we get that from others, because we're energetic beings. So a lot of communication is less words, but body language and energy. So it's like what I'm sensing, or what someone is sensing off of you, the energy that you're projecting out to them, and not only to them, but the whole entire world and cosmos, because you're just that powerful. But that energy is being picked up and is being assimilated as fast as possible, and then they're using that to respond to you, and you're doing the same thing even if you don't realize it or not. So it's very important to just be mindful that you're carrying thoughts that you want to create, or that you want to create in your reality, thus radiate out to other people, and thus the collective reality. So yeah. So okay, we'll go to the next question. We're just gonna go through them in a row. I was gonna skip through, but I'm just gonna go through them in a row, and I'm gonna stop at 7. So we're at question 4 now. What is the most sensible thing you ever heard somebody say? Alright, even when I think I know a definition, I like to just get another another viewpoint. So sensible, yeah, sensible of a statement or course of action, chosen in accordance with wisdom or prudence, likely to be a benefit. All right, okay, I get that. Likely to be let me check the definition of prudence: a quality or being prudent or cautiousness. We need to exercise prudence in such important matters. Was similar to wisdom, judgment, good judgment. Okay, so I feel like the most sensible thing. I mean, I'm just gonna say the first thing that comes to my mind, and I already said it. That I'll say another one also. That my mind is the center of divine operation. That's my mind is the center of divine operation. So it kind of sums up that what I said earlier about we live in a cosmos and not a chaos. That everything in the cosmos is in order, but man creates disorder by having disorderly thinking. That's actually a quote from Dr. Joseph Murphy. So you can find him. He's amazing. He was a mental science teacher. So we're gonna go with. So basically that sums that up. Like that, my mind, your mind as well. Every mind, right? It's one mind. Is a center of divine operation. So everything in my life is happening divinely. Though more so, I'm able to see it, the divineness, the synchronicity of it, when I'm connected, when I'm rooted in that truth, because I'm always connected. We are always connected. We cannot be separated from the substance which creates life. So we're always connected and inseparable. So when I'm rooted in the truth of that my mind is a center of divine operation, then I know for sure that everything that comes up in my life is happening divinely. Everything that happens in life is happening in accordance to what I want to create in my life. Though when I think otherwise, I may start getting the evidence for otherwise, may it be true or not. So that goes back to what we were saying about our mind creates our reality. So if we're thinking that, you know what, I'm a failure, I can't do this, blah, 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 and things aren't working out for me, then we're going to see every little thing that's not working. Look, it's so funny, okay, because at work, I was working in a restaurant with my dad. So there's this, once we bring something from the front to the back, we just got to clean it right quick. It's like a tray that holds like the food in the front. So we clean it, and I'm like, okay. So the mind, sometimes the mind likes to take shortcuts with things. So like the garbage cans in like this little, just imagine like a grill and then a fryer, and then there's like a little space in between where you can just slide a circle garbage can. The garbage can was in between that, and I was like, okay, let me just clean this off, and then I'll pour what I cleaned out right into the garbage can in between. But it's barely space. It's just easier if I just pull it out. So in that example, it's like I was thinking like, okay, if I hadn't just pulled it out and made it so much easier for me and just poured it right in, and I just said, okay, let me just do it in this little space that I have, then I would have more than often, okay, I already did before, but that's why I do for example, but alright, then I would have in that moment poured it right, half in the garbage, half in the floor, that I would have had to clean that up either in the moment or later. But point is that I could have just been poured it and shit, look, dang, why can't things work out for me? Like, why it gotta be me? Like, why I had to fall on the floor or whatever? But in reality, like, I could have just totally avoided that. And it was only my thinking that made me think that the world was against me, or that I can't do anything right or whatever. But in reality, like I could have just pulled it out, and then be like, okay, there's nothing to blame. Or even if I did make the mistake, whatever, I forgive myself right away. I'm like, whatever, okay, I could have just pulled it out next time. All right, that's what I'll do. I'll just pull it out next time, and I'll save myself from this. Like, this doesn't mean that I'm being punished, that the world's against me, that life hates me, that things don't work out for me. It doesn't mean that at all. So it's like I can be projecting that when it's not even true. So it's like being cautious of that and then choosing to think thoughts that, you know, serve you, that serve your reality, that help you grow, that make you feel confident, that make you feel strong, that make you feel divinely rooted, right? That make you feel divinely guided, that makes you feel that, you know, everything is working out in your favor, working out exactly how it should, because that is what it's doing. That's all it has ever done, and that's all it will ever do. So it's like the only time things will be going wrong is when you're telling yourself things are going wrong. Thus you're gonna believe things are going wrong. So it may not be even going wrong, because you can see at times like somebody will be panicking at something happening, and the next person will just be calm, like, all right, whatever, like, let's see how we're gonna solve this. And it's like, yo, how can you not be panicking? And it's like, yo, I'm just like, there's no reason to panic. I know this is something I can solve. But it's like, okay, that person was thinking like, yo, this is chaotic, and the other person was thinking, oh, this is something that could be solved. So it's like, it's really just thinking that determines like how our reality plays out, and how we're able to like react, and thus like move forward with that reality. So yeah, I could talk about that forever too, so I'll just save that for So next question: who do you sometimes compare yourself to? That's so funny, because like, okay, it's like I'm going with the flow, right? So it's like the first thing that the first thing was like, okay, God. Yeah, it's like, but it's like God's not someone to compare yourself to, right? Because God's the ever pervading substance in all things. Like, we can call it God, infinite intelligence, higher self, universe, source, angels, atoms. We can call it anything we want, but it's the unnameable, right? The invisible presence in all things, that thing that allows you to even be like, yo, what is life? And I'm living, and I can feel, and I it allows you to even have that I, right? That I that we all share. So the next thing that came to mind was Kanye West. Of course, you could get a lot of hate and all that stuff, but one thing I always loved him for was him being, you know, as this title is, 40 thought-provoking spiritual questions, him being spiritually thought-provoking himself. Like, he was always the one to make people think, and then people didn't really like to think in that sort of way, so he gained a lot of hate for that, because he was pushing the norms of free thinking and free speaking and speaking out and having opinions that people may not agree with, but that didn't matter, because not everyone is going to agree with what you have to say. Just like this, not everyone's going to agree with it, but there's going to be the people that do agree with it. And then the people that do agree with it, that's who it's meant for. And then it's as simple as that. So it's like, that's what I always admire Kanye West for being, you know, thought-provoking, for provoking that in other people, for like inspiring me to be more my, you know, open self, like around those ages, or around that time where I was literally obsessed with him. Like I had my Instagram name Kanye's twin, and it's like only because like I was like at the time unconsciously, like I was trying to embody like what he was embody that energy of being, you know, like no matter what, like I don't have to care about how people view me. I could speak and say and do things that I feel like I want to do from my soul, and I don't have to let the outside opinions or judgments affect me. And doing that can drive you crazy at times. But because, you know, you're gonna see the whole, like, it's gonna seem like the world's against you, your family's against you, but again, that is just your thinking, because you don't have to accept that. You create your truth and not circumstances. So the whole world could be against you, and you can be like, all right, cool, I'm doing my thing. I know I'm doing my thing. I know things are working out for me. I know I'm on the path that I am supposed to be on, because this feels more right than just listening to or listening or even agreeing with, oh, the people don't agree with what I'm saying, dude, this sounds stupid, or is this selfish, or it's like, people are saying this is selfish, acting this way is selfish, talking this way is selfish, if I do this is selfish. It's like, bro, like, no, it sounds like more judgment, it sounds like more pressure, it sounds like more division, and it sounds like more fear, lack, and limitation. So it's like being done with that, allowing that to be, straight to the graveyard. It's like, okay, it's like I'm not trying to push those things away. It's like I'm letting them go with love. Like, I know what you can do. Like, fear, lack, and limitation, I know what you can do. We all know by now what you can do. So, and I know what effects you have on me when I let you dwell in my mind. And I know what effects you have on me when I sow those seeds of you in my mind, fear, lack, and limitation. So I'm choosing now not to sow those seeds. Instead, I'm letting you go with love. You can rest in peace with love, and that's fine with you. Hey, it's fine with me. So now I'm moving forward, and now I can't blame nobody, blame no team for how I feel or how I'm moving with my life, because I choose my truth, not the circumstances, right? And that's just, that's powerful right there. That's divine right there. That's centered in my mind, is the center of divine operation. That isn't egotistical, because you're choosing to embody your truth, whatever that truth may be. It's like, who is that hurting? It's not even hurting you. If anything, it's empowering you. It's uplifting you. It's uplifting others. It's empowering others. Because you're encouraging yourself to stand in your truth, and you're encouraging others to stand and speak in their truth. You're not saying, oh, I'm right, I'm more holier than thou, I'm more better, or what I say should go, or I think everyone should do XYZ, and if you're not doing XYZ, then you're wrong. No, it's none of that. It's whatever you choose, that will be your truth. And that's just the reality, no matter what it is. So I'm not here to tell anybody to do this, to do that, or this is wrong or this is right. No, I'm not here for that at all. I'm here to tell you what you already know. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't resonate with you. That's perfectly fine. It resonates with me, and that's just why I feel compelled to speak about it. And it makes me happy, and I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. So there you have it. I choose my truth, not circumstances. And that's love. And I love being flooded with love, and I am love. And I radiate love to every word I speak, to every person I meet, to every person I don't even meet, and every person I will meet, because they're all part of me, inseparable. And that's all I see. Immeasurable. Beyond reality, beyond identity. Yes, you and me. I love it. Divine beauty, divine beauty. So, okay. We're at number 6. We're coming to an end. That's beautiful. Okay, number 6. What harsh truths do you prefer to ignore? What harsh truths do you prefer to ignore? Let's see what comes to mind. I'm letting this flow. Let's see what comes to mind right away. Harsh truths that I prefer to ignore. Honestly, I'm gonna plain and simple with that. Like, if it's a harsh truth, then I don't want to ignore it. Because if it's a harsh truth, then it's a harsh truth for a second, and if it's for a reason, I mean. And if it's that harsh, then I should face it. Thus, because it's only my thinking that makes it harsh. So I'm not gonna think something is harsh. If I face something thinking it's harsh, then I'm gonna get the effect of it being harsh. May it not be harsh in general, because harsh to whoever even wrote these questions may not even be harsh to me. It's just how we're viewing it now. So I'm gonna leave it as, I choose not, or I prefer not to ignore any truths. If a truth comes to me, if someone comes to me with a truth, I'm open ears. I'm not going to neglect or reject you just because I have these beliefs that I think is holier than thou, or I think is right. No, we're not here for that. Or if we're here for that and we act like that, then we're never going to get anywhere, and we're never going to really grow. We're never going to be able to experience every part of ourselves. And yeah. Like a blessed number 7, divine number 7, and this is where we're. And where is the line between art and not art? Come on now, that's a perfect one to end that's a perfect one to end this off with. But all right, the line between art and not. Hey, look, there ain't no line. There you have it right there. Hey, we can end it, bam. We end it, bam. Like there's no line. It's so beautiful because this quote came to me. I say came to me because I believe everything is coming through the ether, but I mean it came to me from me. Contemplations by God, from God, by me, aka God. So it's like the quote was basically if, what was it? Let me see, I had it in my notes. It was like, if life is an imitation of art, or if art is an imitation, if art is an imitation of life, and my life is art, then what am I an imitation of? And I must be an imitation of divine. I must be an imitation of the divine. So it's like, so the divine being everything, being the substance that creates everything, that the substance that is living in everything, the substance that there is nothing but, then there's no line between art and not art. Everything is art. Life is art. Life is breathing art. Everything is breathing art. Every word coming out my mouth is breathing art. Every movement is art. Everything happening is art. It's unfathomable. So you take a second to just look at everything happen, it starts breathing. Because it's like we give it life, and life is flowing through, surging through everything, even things that seem inanimate. So looking at it from that standpoint, it's like, okay, everything is art, everything is alive, everything is divinely beautiful, everything is divinely right. So I love that. Yeah, I love that, because that ties everything in. And we'll just end that. We'll keep this around 30 minutes, maybe. We'll see. So I love you guys. Thank you for just flowing with me. I enjoy this. I could do this literally forever. It's like, wow, I love this. It's because it can be tough at times to, push yourself, but I realize when you don't, obviously you're creating your reality with your mind. So if you don't think of it being hard, if you don't think of it pushing yourself, if you don't think of it as a chore or something you have to do, then you're more likely to do it. Like with this, like I'm like, all right, whatever, just sit down, just let God go through you, let God flow through you, let God do it all. You're not doing a damn thing. Like that's ego right there. You think that you're doing it all, and if you're doing all, make your hair grow, make the sun go up, make your blood pump, make that cut heal, like if you're doing it, tell me everything from the T that you did from age 3 to now, like since you're doing it, but you're not. It's all being done through you, and that's the divine synchronicity of it. That's the divine synchronicity of every word and every action that's coming through this body, this vessel. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Infinitely grateful, for real. So I love you. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. I'm most likely going to throw the intro video in the beginning of this, and might throw the end in this. And I love y'all. Thank you.